Mark, for sharing that insight. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion as well. Now we move on to our next news. Defense lawyers for former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro have asked the country's Supreme Court to acquit him of coup plotting charges. In closing arguments, his legal team submitted a 197-page document claiming an absolute lack of evidence and insisting he is innocent. Bolsonaro and 7 allies are accused of trying to hold on to power after his 2022 election defeat to current President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. The case centers on January 8, 2023, when thousands of his supporters stormed government buildings in Brasilia, alleging fraud and urging military intervention. Bolsonaro, who calls any coup abhorrent, faces up to 40 years in prison if convicted. He's currently under house arrest for violating a social media ban. Now for this discussion, we go back to our guest, Mark Sutherland. He's a geopolitical commentator. Thank you, Mark, for staying with us. Now, given this political climate in Brazil, how might this trial influence the public perception of Bolsonaro and Lula da Silva's current government?
Jim, the big issue here, and the concerns of all people in Brazil, and particularly with under Bolsonaro, was the concern, as it was happening in America in the presidential election of 2020, is how people then count the votes. As Stalin once said, it's not who votes, it's who counts the votes that's important. And the concern is when you are then using an electronic means in which to do that, it then raises a lot of questions. And also how you then empower social media and all the rest. But as in America, and Brazil's constitution is based on America after then coming out of military dictatorship, as in America, they have been constantly concerned about the use of electronic means to vote. And this is then concerned within Brazil as well. Many people, understandably around the world, would like to say, right, you have a paper ballot, you count that on that particular day, that these systems can be abused, and the concern is on any political side that they are then abused. The reason why, in my own understanding of why this court case has gone on and on, is because, understandably, if you are then voting for Bolsonaro, you were then concerned at how that election result came about. So you raised those concerns because those concerns have been building up well before the actual election 2022 in regard to there needs to be firmer, stronger security on the electronic means. And of course, this is reflecting that has gone on within America for many years, and people understandably around the world question that, because paper ballot on that day is the most important way, most secure way then to actually vote. Now, how this plays out, you can always use the court to then go against your political enemy, and fraud has to be stamped out. But when if you are then looking at political enemy, you are then questioning them in the past in regard to their links with the Brazilian oil industry. Did politicians in Brazil in the past take kickbacks and all of this kind of thing? These, even though people may think that these are not irrelevant, these are irrelevant. It is actually about, can you trust your election? Can you then trust the people that you have then voted for? This is a huge question, of course, in Brazil, and this is a huge question that is then going around the world constantly in regard to many elections in